most significant address to the nation since His Excellency the President of the Republic of Kenya, Dr. William Samoei Ruto, appointed me Cabinet Secretary for Education nearly 2 months ago. Over these 2 months, I've taken time to personal appointment immediately to remove the deep of the sector with the national examination season racking and the need to clear the matter that was the grade 6 cohorts transition to junior secondary school under the competence-based curriculum. By good fortune, the head of state, in keeping with his promise as outlined in the education charter of Kenya Kwanza Manifesto, stepped in with a brilliant decision to appoint the Presidential Working Party on Education Reforms. By dint of the team's preliminary report, the President has already directed that the junior secondary school be domiciled in the existing primary schools. What did this masterstroke decision of President mean? It means that parents will now not lose sleep over finding grade 7 present in secondary schools, which could have become their worst headache ever had the President not saved the situation. Secondly, domiciling the junior secondary within the primary school level means that the expected crisis of a double intake in our already contested high schools was averted. Lastly, it means that the newly constructed classes in secondary schools that were initially meant for the junior secondary school level are now available to ease our strained infrastructure in secondary schools. We therefore expect to have a relatively peaceful path to the achievement of the 100% transition policy of government during the Form 1 admission next year. Amid the smooth administration of the national examinations for 2022, I have, together with my top administration, subjected the sector into a quick baseline analysis with a view to finding an anchor upon which the new government can roll in its interventions. Based on this analysis, we have realized that for us to raise the sector performance a notch higher, we must anchor our management on the following. 1. Robust stakeholder consultations. As a ministry and working with the key agencies, we will work together with all sector players while embracing regular consultations and public participation in line with our constitution. In this, we will take a cue from the example already set through the Presidential Working Party on Education Reforms, which has combed every part of our country to correct the views from all Kenyans. We will redouble our efforts to motivate our staff. I wish to thank all the stakeholders, especially parents and teachers, for withstanding the financial and the press in 28,408 centers across the country. These candidates will be allowed to start their secondary school journey as they have all qualified to be admitted to Form 1. Congratulations to the class of 2022 for your spirited academic campaign that defied the triple challenge of a general election, COVID-19, and shortened school calendars. Of these candidates, 620,965, that is 50.32%, were boys, while 612,887, meaning 49.67%, were girls, a clear indication that our country has achieved gender parity at the primary school level. In the 2021 KCPE, 1,214,031 candidates sat the examination. According to the data, 4 counties had a significant entry of more male than female candidates. These were Turkana, Garissa, Wajir, and Mandera. On the other hand, Marsabit, Isiolo, and Meru had a significant entry of more female than male candidates in the examination. The number of candidates who sat the examination in hospitals in 2022 was 147, compared with 166 in 2021. All these candidates will also progress to Form 1. The number of registered candidates who were 12 years and below declined from 33,627, meaning 2.74% in 2021, to 31,494, meaning 2.53% in 2022, indicating that parents and schools are on the right path of enrolling children in school at the right age. The counties which had the highest percentage entry for candidates who were 12 years and below for the year 2022 KCPE examination were Baringo, Wazia, Kericho, Bomet, and West Pokot. The highest number of candidates were in the appropriate age bracket of 13 to 15 years, were 885,162, meaning another positive indicator of better performance by the candidates was in the mean average performance. The data analysis showed that more than half of all the candidates who sat the examination, that is 619,583, or 50.22%, scored between 200 and 299 marks, as compared with 578,106, or 47.17%, who scored between the same marks in 2021. We are therefore very impressed with the KCPE examination class of 2022 for performing very well and raising the standards of the main performance. Additionally, whereas 1,170 candidates scored between 1 and 99 marks in the 2021 KCPE examination, that number has gone down to only 724 in the year 2022 examination, despite the rise in overall candidature in the 2 years. This was an indicator that most candidates scored better grades than the previous year. In particular, I am impressed that 39 candidates with special needs scored 400 marks and above, compared with only 2 in 2021. The first candidate with special needs scored 419 marks more than the 12 candidate in 2022 who scored in 2021. Overall, we have been impressed that 4 papers recorded an improvement in performance in the year 2022 when compared to 2021. These are English language, Kiswahili Lugha, Kiswahili Insa, and Kenyan Sign Language. However, 6 papers, English Conversation, Kenya Sign Language Conversation, Mathematics, Science, Social Studies, and Religious Education, recorded a drop in performance in 2022 compared with 2021. Female candidates performed better than their male counterparts in the English language, Kiswahili, and Kenyan were 1,233,852, making it a percentage of 99.16%. The overall performance for special needs candidates is as follows. Those who scored between 400 and 500 were 7, meaning this was 0.29%. Those who scored between 300 and team of the Ministry of Education, Ministry of Interior, Teacher Service Commission, National Administration, ICT, and Digital Economy helped to ensure that the 2022 KCPE examination was free of malpractices. Overall, there were only 252 candidates in 9 examination centers who were found to have engaged in malpractices. These candidates have been scored 0 in the subjects where they engaged in such malpractices. Nonetheless, the affected candidates' overall mark will be computed, the rest mark